KaMARIO Taylor. Now, this is a guy I'm excited to talk about. I called him today in our group. We're like, who's going to talk about who? I wanted to talk about Taylor. I tweeted probably 2 months ago, just like KaMARIO Taylor, bookmark this for later because I wanted the receipt out there in the ether. But yeah, I'm an exciting guy. And he's QB 12 in the composite. He's 151 overall, 6'3", 200 pounds. He's got a 10-inch hand, so, big frame. I like those big paws as well. He's from Noxubee County High School, which is the 27th ranked high school in Mississippi, a 34 team power ranking, and a 17 strength of schedule. So really nothing to write home about, kind of below average on the competition level. I think, right, because guys 20-ish, 21 is like average for SOS?
I think it's like 25 or 26.
Okay, so, decently below average there on the competition he's playing. We're not blown away with that. Before I get into the video, like and subscribe to this channel to get all your recruit needs met for college fantasy football. You can see down at the bottom, we've got new shows at noon on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You can find us on YouTube. Of course, you're here. Also, podcast feed. And then we're also tweeting out things. We're TikToking things. We're Instagramming things all the time as well. So follow us. Get all of your needs for college fantasy football, starting with the recruits here on The Official. All right, let's get into KaMARIO Taylor. He's just, pun intended, tailor-made, the kind of guy that I like to take bets on for fantasy. He's a dual threat all the way. He's got really good athleticism. I mean, his opening clip is a long run there, but he looks dynamic as a runner. And you can tell he wants to run. He likes to run. He also is going to be right about 18 on signing day. So we like that. Not too old. I mean, not the youngest guy in the world, but not too old. 88th percentile athlete. Now, that is a score that we've come up with, the athlete score, which doesn't mean exactly what you think it means. It's not necessarily, he's the next Lamar Jackson, because kind of pocket passers can still have a high athlete score. But what we found is, 80s or certainly in the 90s are guys who end up getting drafted in the NFL more often than guys who are lower than that. So we really want to take swings on guys who are high 80s or better yet in the 90s. He's at 88% right now, percentile for his athlete score. For sport athlete, 20.5 max running speed. So faster than Michael Turner that we just talked about, who's a running back. And 10 yards per attempt. 60% completion. Would like to see a little more there. 48 touchdown, 5 picks, 700 yards on the ground. I mean, as a production, this is like definitely what you want from a production standpoint. And the downside is he kind of didn't have a great showing. He did make it to the Elite 11 finals, but he didn't have a great showing in that setting, which probably just means he's kind of raw as a pure passer. I don't think those competitions really highlight the dual threat nature and the things that can happen on a defense when you have to be worried about a quarterback running the ball. And you can actually get, I think, wider windows and things like that. But it's a data point we have to consider. He didn't blow away the Elite 11. In fact, I think he took a little bit of a dive after the Elite 11 from the services. So they didn't love it either. But, after the guys who have obvious NFL skill set, which, in this class, there is a number of them who you can kind of, project possible NFL future. KaMARIO Taylor is going to be right highest on my list, after those guys where you're like almost for sure NFL, which maybe 4 or 5 in this class, which is huge. I think it's a nice quarterback class. He's right there after that. So definitely a guy I'm going to be drafting. He'll probably be at a discount compared to some of the other players in this class, but definitely remember KaMARIO Taylor. I'm excited to draft him. Matt, are you as excited about me, or are you a little more bearish on KaMARIO Taylor here?
Before the Elite 11, I was very high on Taylor. Like top 5 QB in class territory. Definitely can't be anywhere near that now. I mean, his first 2 days at Elite 11, he was, pretty much consensus one of the worst people there. That's
Wait,
just
worst people or just worst quarterback
players. One of the worst performing quarterback recruits there.
Fair enough.
So I mean that just kind of hurts my hopes of NFL upside, despite the fantastic physical tools that he does have. So at the moment, I can kind of only view him as like a potential CFF stud with low NFL upside. So I'm a bit lower at this point.
Probably a more measured take than me. David, where do you fall? You're the tiebreaker here. Are you super excited or more like CFF only?
Well, I'm excited for CFF. So I'm like, because generally we talk about how like there's like 3 to 5 guys that you can like at most to become NFL starters in a class, like at absolute most.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's probably just outside that for me. So maybe we'll say like 6, 7, somewhere around there, just because. And I think he's like 20th or whatever. What is he? Or no, he's 12th, I guess. I'll probably be a little bit. Yeah, I'll be a little higher just because his traits are ridiculous. I don't really care that he didn't perform well in like drill work and some of the accuracy stuff at the Elite 11. I just think he's kind of a gamer type guy. He kind of cooked in the 7v7 and instincts sort of just took over. And I think he's got a big arm, like kind of we talked about Baker. I see more of those. He's not limited at all, where he can make those big, high arcing, deep passes from the pocket with like no strain at all, like 50+ yarders. I just can't imagine that we have to wait too long for him to see the field. I don't know. I just can't imagine a coach just being like, yeah, we're not going to put this guy. Like, if you just look at this guy, he looks like a freak. Like, he's just put together so well. He's going to add 20 more pounds, 6'3.5". He'll probably be 225, like pure muscle. Like, you just have to play this guy. Like, he's going to make plays. He's going to help you win games. He's going to be good for fantasy, I think. So that's one of my stronger takes, I guess. But I think I'm going to have him probably just outside my top 5, I think.
Yeah, I think that's fair. It feels like kind of how I'm tracking as well. David, I got to ask you, you're our aura guy. Sounds like he's dripping with aura.
Big time aura.
We love to see it. So I didn't mention this before. The velo on him, 52 to 54, similar to Baker. So like on the cusp, a little better than what the threshold. So we're fine with that, although not necessarily like a cannon. But yeah, I'm pretty interested. I think his motion too. Sometimes with the guys who are dual threat, running a lot. Their motion isn't quite as tight, but I thought him and Bryce Baker, for that matter, both these quarterbacks, I liked both of their motions, and I thought they had nice releases as well. Just for repeatability. And when I see that, I see likelihood that they could maybe grow as a passer. Whereas when guys are, their motion just looks all out of whack. I'm like, I don't. There's too much work to be done there. So I'm pretty interested. Mississippi State. I don't think this name is going to rise up too many draft boards. Maybe if he changes commitment, but I don't think a lot of people are going to be wanting Mississippi State quarterback in general. So I just think he'll fly under the radar unless something changes, which means value in draft, and I'll probably scoop him up quite a bit once those draft times roll around.